There are 110 apples in the box. 70% of them are red apples and the rest are green apples. How many green apples are there in the box? Well, I like to make a diagram to help me organize the information. So I'll say there are 110 apples total, and 70% of them are red. The rest are green. I want to know how many green apples there are. Now I could figure out how many red apples there are and subtract that from 110. But I also noticed that the percentages, I've got 30% left from 100%. If 70% are red, then 100 minus 70 gives me 30. So 30% of them must be green. So I'm going to use that. I know 110 is 100%. And if I want to find 30%, I think finding 10% is going to be helpful. So I'll divide this by 10. I'll divide that by 10. And that gives me 11. And then I know that 3 times 10% gives me 30%. So 3 times that amount is going to give me 33. So there will be 33 green apples. Okay, let's look at the second problem. Max made $260 washing cars. Gave 45% of the money to his parents. He spent 20% and he saved the rest. How much money did he save? Let's see. So 260 is the grand total. He gave 45% to his parents. He spent $20 and he saved the rest. How much money did he save? So this is the amount that I'm interested in. Well, in this case, I don't know the percentage here. So it looks like I'll want to find this amount, add those together, and then subtract that from 260 to find that amount. So I know that 100% is equal to 260. I'll want to know what 45% is, so put that down here. I'm thinking 40% would be helpful. Let's go ahead and get 10%. That's usually a good something to work with. So divide by 10. 10% is in 100. Dividing by 10 gives me 26. I could multiply that by 4 to get 40%. And 26 times 4, that's going to be 104. And then, in order to get 45%, I'm realizing that 5% is going to be useful to get first. So I'll go ahead and do that. I know 10% is 26 and 5% is half of that. So 5% is equal to 13. And if I add those together, 45% is equal to 117. So 117 goes here. And finally, if I add these together and subtract them, so 117 plus 20 is 137, and 260 minus 137 is going to be 3, 2, 1. So $123 saved. Okay, and the last problem. Bert planted 150 rows of berries on his farm. 32% of the rows were strawberries, 40% of the rows were blackberries, and the rest were raspberries. How many rows of each kind of berry did he plant? So let's take a look at this. It's 150 rows total. 32% were strawberries. 40% were blackberries. And the rest were raspberries. How many rows of each kind of berry? So I'm interested in all of these numbers. Well, percentage-wise, I noticed that 32 plus 4 plus 40 was 72, and 100 minus 72 is 28. So this is 28%. Now I just need to find all these percentages. So 150 equals 100%. I'm going to get my 10%. I know that's always useful. So divided by 10 equals 15. Now I notice that I'm also interested in finding 32% and 28%. So if I knew what 2% was, that would help me in figuring those others out. So I'm going to divide by 5 and divide this by 5. And that tells me that 2% is equal to 3. So 40% will be 4 times 10%. 4 times 15 is 60. 30% is equal to 3 times 10%. 3 times 15 is 45. And then I notice that 32% is 30 plus 2%. So 32% would be 45 plus 3, which is going to be equal to 48. And then the 28% that I'm looking for is just 2% less. So I'll write this over here. So I'm doing 30% minus 2% gives me 28%. So the amounts that go with that, that's 45 minus 2% is equal to 3. So 28% would be 42. So strawberries are 48 rows, and blackberries are 45 rows, and raspberries are 42 rows. And if we add those all up together, that should give me, it doesn't. Oh, blackberries are 60 rows. That's my mistake. There we go. Let's change that. So blackberries are 60 rows. So there's your check. I went to add it up and it didn't work out right. So this is 0 and carry the 1, and there you go, 150. So now we know